think one of the hardest parts, because he is high functioning, is when to embrace his quirks as opposed to teach him what's socially acceptable.
It can be a challenge for parents coping with children who have ASD, but it doesn't have to be that way. I'm joined now by JJ Hurley with Autism Speaks. She's back on the show. Thank you again for rejoining us here this half hour.
Absolutely.
So symptoms of autism tend to emerge between 12 and 18 months, I understand, right? For a child. And how do you spot it as a parent?
If you go to our website, autismspeaks.org, we actually have a listing of the symptoms, the early milestones to watch for. Things that parents can see are a lack of engagement, a lack of eye contact, that babbling back and forth, that social interaction piece. Those are some signs that parents can watch for.
And so what should someone do if they suspect that their child may have ASD?
If a child is age 0 to 3, they can contact here in Georgia. Babies Can't Wait is the early intervention agency in Georgia. If your child is age 3 or over, you can contact your local public school district. In addition to, on our website, we have a Georgia resource guide of medical providers who can provide an autism diagnosis here in Georgia, as well as therapists, support groups, a variety of services once you get that diagnosis.
Is it pretty easy, I assume, to find on the website? Give us the website again.
www.autismspeaks.org/family services, and you can click on our resource guide and click on Georgia, and they're right there, where to get an autism evaluation.
That's fantastic. And how long does that process take for a parent if they want to do that?
Well, there are oftentimes wait lists, okay. And so we do have suggestions and guidelines on our website about things you can do while you're waiting for that evaluation. Sometimes you can get in, within a few weeks, but oftentimes parents are waiting up to 6 months.
That resource guide, though, I'm sure is extremely helpful for parents. Puts it all in one place, right?
Absolutely.
So if a child has autism and they want to attend school, how does that work?
A child absolutely can attend school.
No issues?
Most certainly.
Should you ask the school or talk to them about your child being diagnosed and put them in special programs?
Certainly, and that's a decision that's made between the family and your school district. What happens is that you would request that IEP process to begin for your child, which is individual education program, and you're going to put that in place, and you're going to meet with your school staff. They will do their own evaluations, and then you would come together and determine what would be the best classroom placement. Anna's daughter is currently in a mainstream program. My son is currently in an autism unit program. So again, it's going to depend on that individual child's needs and level of functioning. And
when we think of autism, we think of children, but it's not always the case.
No.
Can you explain what you mean by that?
Absolutely. There are currently 2 million individuals in the United States living with autism spectrum disorder, and these children grow up to be adults with autism. Autism Speaks currently has a very large initiative for adult services. We have launched our employment toolkit. We have our community-based assessment to help individuals transition into adulthood to find their best area of vocation. We have housing and residential options, and we're currently offering some town hall meetings across the country to find the needs of adults and how best we can help get those services. And before we wrap up here, I want to talk about some of the upcoming events again. Can you tell our viewers what events are going on that they can partake in? Absolutely. Here in Georgia, you can come on down to our Six Flags Day in September, and we also have our Georgia 5K, which is coming up and is a great event. It's going to be my first 5K. I'm going to do it. Good for you. Yes. And one trend I think that families have been talking to us about in family services is about safety and wandering water prevention. So we've started our program with the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. We have worked over 80 active autism wandering cases with them since we've started that partnership. And if you go to our website, we do have wandering resources that are free for first responders, for schools, and for families. This is all great stuff. Thank you so much, JJ, for being on the program. Very helpful information. And stay with us. Right after this break, we're going to come back and wrap up this very important show here on Public Affairs on Beach.